Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ron from International Trade Council. I will be your moderator for today. So the webinar is about doing business in Finland, as Finland being superpower for sustainable technologies. Before we start, I just want to inform you guys that this is a 1 hour webinar. The speaker will finish the presentation and the question and answer will comes after. Um, this webinar is recorded and will be shared to the ITC YouTube channel. So our speaker for today, Mr. Huka Holapa, Country Manager in India for Business Finland, and Puneet Thakur, Head of Invest and Innovation and Collaboration. Just to remind again, we have already reached the maximum number of participants. So there's another there's another webinar at 3:30 p.m. IST. I will put the link here in case if you would like to join the same webinar for the same content. So without any further ado, I will pass the floor to Mr. Holapa so that he can do the introduction as well. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everybody, and greetings from New Delhi. So my name is Jukka Holappa, and I'm heading Business Finland operations here in India. Thank you so much for ITC for organizing today's session. I highly appreciate the good collaboration so far. India has been extremely important market for large Finnish companies for years. But now we are seeing two new things happening, two new developments. First, Finnish SMEs are exploring India now as well. But most interesting development, at least to me, is that large Indian companies, conglomerates, and system integrators are now exploring India. Exploring Finland. And actually, that's kind of global phenomenon. We are seeing a wave of global companies coming to Finland to do stuff. And why is that? This is something that we will discuss today. Why Finland has kind of become the hottest or coolest R&D hub and club globally. Puneet, could you go to the next slide? So just very briefly, what is Business Finland and what is our role before handing over to Puneet? So Business Finland, even in a global scale, is a very unique governmental organization because we have 5 mandates from Finland, from Finnish government. First, it's export promotion, so it's our role to help Finnish companies to go to international markets, but we also work with the large Finnish companies which are, for example, established in the global markets, such as Nokia or Kone, etc. So export promotion 1, invest in, so it's our role to attract foreign direct investments to Finland, and that's nothing special. Every country has trade and investment councils or companies, but number 3 is what makes us unique is because we are the innovation funding agency for Finland. So we basically fund R&D of Finnish companies. Our typical annual funding budget is 600 million euros. This year it has been exceptionally large due to COVID, so we got extra 1.1 billion euros that we are distributing to Finnish companies. Finnish companies in that sense that we don't care who owns the company as long as the entity is registered in Finland. So we actually fund the R&D of many foreign companies and their R&D centers in Finland. 1.7 billion euros this year. Visit Finland, so we manage the tourism as well. And then fifth mandate we have is relatively large. Again, it's our mandate to make Finland more international by attracting talent to Finland. So we are the talent attraction agency of Finland as well. So export promotion, invest in funding, tourism, and talent attraction. But Puneet, who is basically heading Number 2 and number 3 in my team in India will take you through what is happening in Finland on the ground. So Puneet, please take over from here.
Thank you, Yuka, for providing a comprehensive view on what Business Finland is and what are we doing here in India. So, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to everyone, depending upon where you are joining this webinar from. So, I am Puneet Thakur, and I head the Investing and Innovation Collaboration at Business Finland India. And thanks once again to all of you who have taken out time to attend this webinar on doing business in Finland and are keen to know more about Finland. So
Hello, Puneet. Sorry to interrupt. Can you check your video because I think there is an issue on the video.
y- yes, actually, I have switched off the video to preserve the bandwidth so that people are able to see the slides properly.
Okay,
So
sure.
if that's fine with everyone.
All right. Yeah, sure. So he switched off the video, guys, just to have the voice clear.
Yeah.
So just to
I
clarify that.
will switch on the video once we are doing the question and answer session. I hope that's fine.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So let me share with you a few facts to begin with. So, what makes Finland an attractive destination in the entire European continent? So generally the question is why Finland, or generally a business will choose a location based on many factors, and out of those, a few key factors are generally ease of doing business, then talent availability, cost of setting up and operating a business, and connectivity to the markets. Now let's see how Finland fares on these particular parameters. So now, as you can see on the slide, so Finland as a country provides a very good business environment, which is efficient, which is stable and predictable. It supports the companies to have fast and smooth uh, setup of business operations. It is one of the lowest cost destinations to run business in the entire European Union, and we have competent professionals, highly educated workforce with efficient knowledge transfer between the businesses and the universities. And it also provides fastest Europe Asia connection with extensive logistics services to support the businesses, and is a gateway of east west trade corridor. So Finland also offers unconventional solutions to conventional problems, and that's why it is one of the global innovation hotspots. And Finland has a very high quality of life for expats, and the same has been noted by expats themselves. So that's what makes Finland as one of the attractive destinations. Now let's coming on to the next slide. Let's see what the global third-party independent organizations say about Finland. So a few highlights here include that Finland has been consistently ranked as the happiest country in the world, best in education, best in providing future skills, and the third most innovative country. And there are a few more here that on the slide that you can read through. So Finland is one of the leaders on the innovations globally, and to speak, it can be tagged as a innovation nation. And the three key factors that make Finland an innovation leader are: number one, it's innovation policy. The second one is high spend on research, development, and innovation activities. And the last one is a robust education system. So, as you can see from the slide, that we are number one in patent applications. As per WIPO, we spend around 2.7% of our GDP on research and development activities, and we have more research and development experts per million of population, even higher than that of USA. So now in today's world where COVID-19 has forced everyone to work remotely, the ability to digitalize is seen as the solution to this challenge, and how rapidly you can do that. And Finland has been on the forefront of digitalization for years now, and has attracted the likes of Google, GEs, and Zalandos of the world because of its excellence in the field of digitalization. And the same you can see from this slide that Finland scores highest in the European Union on digital economy and society index 2020. So in particular, Finland has the highest percentage of ICT specialists, so almost double of the European Union average. So you can say we are ICT capital of Europe. Now let's see what global companies present in Finland feel about Finland. So this is a testimony from the CEO of Nordic region for German multinational Bayer. So according to her, Finland is a hidden gem and an ideal location to carry out research and development activities. The whole Finnish society is very open to research and development. And as Yuka has earlier alluded to, so Finland is like the hottest or the coolest location for carrying out research and development activities. And if you are looking at doing some research and development activities, then Finland is the place where you should be. Now let's talk something about the talent. So on talent, talent in Finland is available at a reasonable cost, and talent cost here is one of the lowest in the entire European Union. The figures on the slide are from FDI benchmark report from Financial Times 2020, and these figures are for a 100 employee software development center. In addition to this, talent in Finland is also very efficient. So I'll just give you an example. Recently, I was attending a webinar with a US company, and that company was asked that why did this set up in Finland? So the answer that they gave really surprised me, and they mentioned that the talent here is so efficient that what their single employee in Finland is doing in Finland is as good as 3 employees in US. So you can realize how cost efficient it can be to have your workforce in Finland and have set up your business in Finland. So in addition to this, the other factor that makes Finland a low operating cost location is one, because of the low electricity prices, so one of the least one in the European region. And this makes Finland very attractive proposition for manufacturing operations and data centers, and that's why we have seen that a lot of international companies have set up their manufacturing plants and data centers in Finland, including the likes of Google, who have their data center in Finland. uh, now now coming on to the incentive and funding sources. So most of the times people would want to understand what is the kind of support where the governments provide if somebody is looking to set up their business in a particular geography. So let's talk about that, what's available in Finland. So let me first talk about the second box, which is the business aid from ELU centers. So the incentives and support for land and infra investments to companies operating in Finland is coordinated by the Center of Economic Development, Transport and Environment. They are also known as ELU centers. And there are 15 regional offices which provide advisory, training and expert services and funding for investments and development projects. Even foreign-owned companies in Finland can benefit from these several different type of aid that ELU Center provides, and mainly on the development in the regional areas of Finland. Now, next we come to the capital investments from Finnish industry investment. So Finnish industry investment is also called as TESI, so TESI. So TESI is 100% state-owned equity investor, and its mission is to invest in and develop Finland's economic growth. So it is an active minority owner who invests on the same terms as a private investor will do, and its share of total investments is up to 50% of the total investments. So private investors shares need to be at least 50%, and the investment criteria are equal to private venture and private equity investors criteria. And it is an investor in major industrial companies in various segments throughout Finland. And if you look at the last box, it talks about the training and employment incentives. So training and employment services are provided by public service providers such as LU centers, and they offer smooth, fast, and free of charge services to cover employment and business services such as recruitment of staff, updating of staff skills, and training of new employees. The regional office know the local labor force and the job market in the area, and so they can support you very well in terms of connecting with the required talent. And it is also free of charge to advertise open position on LU's employment website, which is widely used by people living in Finland. And LU centers also offer retraining of labor forces to match with the requirement of the local companies, and educate in demand for specific skills in the areas required. So going forward, if there are new skills required, so they can always help you with reskilling of employees also. Now coming on to the third box on the top of this slide, the loans and guarantees by Finvera. So Finvera is a organization which is mainly responsible for expanding exports through its loans and guarantees. And Finvera strengthens the operating potential and competitiveness of Finnish enterprises by offering loans, domestic guarantees, and export credits. The risk included in financing are shared between Finvera and the other financing providers like banks. And a few examples of services offered by Finvera are like Finvera can take part in financing arrangement for domestic investments that can benefit exports. Eligible investments can include factory projects, projects aiming at improving the level of processing or improving the yield, and projects involving logistics and other areas of infrastructure development that helps to improve operating efficacy and competitiveness of exporting companies. So the small or the large corporations are eligible for receiving Finvera's export related domestic investments. And Finvera's export credit guarantee for domestic industrial investments can be obtained for investments in machinery and equipment that helps to create new export businesses. So if you are looking at setting up a manufacturing business or a business where you are looking at tapping the export market for Finland, you can always go to Finvera to help you support with exporting from Finland. So now let's come on to the first box, which talks about research and development and innovation incentives by Business Finland, which Jukka talked about earlier, that we act as a funding agency for Finnish government. So here we direct support, and this particular funding is provided by Business Finland and it's coordinated by us. And our funding is available for companies registered in Finland, irrespective of the beneficiary ownership. So even if a subsidiary of a foreign company, you can always avail of this research and development funding. And Business Finland offers substantial incentives to support the companies' research and development activities. For example, we provide grants for research and creation of new knowledge. Business Finland will pay a grant to a company in areas based on reported actual costs. Our grant accounts for maximum of 50% of the total project cost for SMEs, and for mid-size and the large corporations it's 40%. And if a large company takes grant or a loan from Business Finland, then they have to at least spend around 40% of this total project cost on acquiring services from the Finnish small medium enterprises. Now the second aspect is a loan. So when the application is submitted to Business Finland, we assess whether it can qualify as a grant or a loan. So if it doesn't qualify as a grant, then it's a loan. So, and loan funding from Business Finland is At the moment, the interest rate is at 1%, and there are no or minimal collateral requirements in that. And if the project fails or its results cannot be commercially exploited, the loan may be partially converted into a grant as well. And for the large BF companies, the loan can go up to 50%, whereas for small, medium enterprises and mid caps, the maximum loan that can be given is up to 70%. And as a rule, the loan period is for 7 or 10 years, of which 3 to 5 years and even more, if necessary, can be amortization free. So at the beginning of the project, 30% of the loan can be granted to the project in advance, and the rest of the Business Finland funding is paid on the basis of the actual costs. But if you look at the previous slide, there are some other kind of incentives also that that a company after establishing Finland can go for. They can go for European Union supported funding also, and these are additional kind of avenues that you can explore. So now let's talk about what's unique about location of Finland. So as a fastest route between Northern Europe and Asia, so Helsinki has been becoming an increasingly popular gateway also to Far East or to West. And so we are in a time zone that is best suited for covering the entire globe from Far East to Far West. And the flight times are also very convenient. We have a direct flight from India, which is only 6.5 hours. And Finland is also a gateway to European market for companies. Companies can tap into 500 million consumers in EU market that you can see from this slide. And out of this 500 million consumer, 10% is in very close proximity to Finland, that is within a range of 2 hours kind of a flight. So whether it's Moscow, St. Petersburg, Stockholm, Copenhagen, so all these are like stones throw from Finland. Some additional facts about Finland. So it's number one on Family Life Index. That includes availability of childcare and education, cost of childcare and education, quality of education, and overall family well-being. So Finland is one of the best places in the world to live in. Additionally, we have a population of around 5.5 million, stable credit rating by all the three credit rating agencies, one of the lowest corporate tax rate at which is at 20%, least currency risk as Finland has adopted euro, and its currency is unlike it's unlike our neighbors who have their own currency, so the currency risk is also least. And English is widely spoken and used as a business language. So many a times we have come across that people have this perception that there will be some language barriers of doing business in Finland, but that's absolutely unfounded. And most of the businesses work internationally, and English is the main language or the main business language. So you will never find a problem around language while you're working in Finland or with Finland. Now in Finland, you can experience both nature and the cities together. They are in vicinity, so it's a blend of nature as well as the modern society that we have in Finland. Now, as Indians, we love festivities, and Finland has plenty of festivals too. So if you love festivals, you will not miss them in Finland. So that's one similarity that we have with Finland. So that was a general description on what Finland is and other things. Now let's talk about what are the key sectors and subsectors that are thriving in Finland and what opportunities they offer and why you should look at Finland for doing business in these particular sectors. So the first one is the bio-circular economy, where Finland can help you kickstart your bio-based business. The second one is Cleantech, and the Cleantech from the greenest country in the world. So Finland is the most forested country in the world. On the health as you can say that it's like a living lab for global cures, and most of the international pharma companies are already present and doing their research and development activities in Finland. Then we come to travel and tourism, which is a fast growing, safe, and sustainable business in Finland. And we provide that environment for international companies who are looking to do business in that. And consumer business, which is where Finland leads from being, from innovative gaming to creative designing. And last but not the least is the ICT and digitalization that I have already spoken about in the beginning. So, and that's where I will just drill down deep in this particular sector. So on ICT, Finland is a leading cybersecurity hub in the Nordics, and we have recently launched our digital trust programs, which provides an ample opportunity for cybersecurity companies to set up their business in Finland and look at Finland as an option. And even the likes of Ericsson's, which compete with Nokia, has trusted Finland for its security operations. And Finland is also a pioneer on the AI technologies, and we have a national flagship program on AI. We have even developed an online course for our citizens to make them aware about AI, and now we are supplying this particular training to even different countries, and we have seen demand from India as well. Now, Finland is also one of the best, safe, and low-cost location for setting up of data centers. So, if somebody is looking to set up data centers, they should definitely look at Finland as one of the options. We are a leading new space economy know-how country, then a leading gaming and AR and VR hotspot, and a leading country on IoT connectivity and intelligent vehicle solutions. And connected to the each of these programs is an ecosystem of large, medium, small SMEs, startups, universities, and research institutes that work together in developing and testing the ideas in these particular sectors. Now, now let me take you through a few examples of Finnish strongholds within these sectors that I have already spoken about. So, on ICT, if you see, Finland is a global pioneer in the development of wireless technologies, and we are a forerunner in the deployment of 5G and research into 6G technologies. So, Finland is among top three countries that are already working on 6G technologies. And we have a national flagship on 6G, which is led by Oulu University. And as you all know, Finland is land of Nokia, and Oulu is as a city is known as a Silicon Valley of wireless technology. So a lot of wireless technology, radio technology comes from Oulu. And we have a very well established 5G test network that can be utilized by global companies to test their technologies and application and solutions on these 5G platforms. And that's why we have the likes of GE and Huawei who have their wireless research and development centers in Finland. So last year, only two of our India's largest system integrators, Wipro and Tech Mahindra, announced their investments into 5G and 6G research and development in Finland. And this shows that how good the Finland is on these particular technologies, that it's attracting investments from different countries, including India. And the second and another significant stronghold for Finland is energy, where Finland has been pioneering various cutting edge and future technologies under its smart energy program that focuses on smart grids, batteries, smart energy generation, smart buildings, and applications of ICT technologies like IoT, AI, and digitalization to the energy sector. Now, Finland has established test beds like Vasa Tech Hub, Smart Autonomy, and A-Land to develop future energy solutions, and have been successfully doing that with domestic as well as international companies. Now, let me talk in brief about smart autonomy. So, what exactly smart autonomy provides to international companies who are looking to do business in Finland? So this will help. Smart autonomy will provide very good piloting opportunities to companies in energy sector, with a focus on energy data, energy efficiency, renewable energy, and real-time data monitoring, to name a few, along with the obviously the ICT and digitalization application on top of that. So that is the kind of opportunity. So to develop the future solutions, you can use these test beds which are existing in Finland. And similarly, uh, smart mobility is another stronghold for Finland. So Finland has given a concept of mobility as a service, and we have a Finnish company called Mass Global, which leads this particular sector, and a Japanese company Denso has already invested into this particular space. And what has made this possible is the apt legislation and the co-creation between the public and private sectors. So we are developing our cities as platforms to develop and test solutions. And Finland has numerous land test beds, sea test beds, and air test beds to test smart mobility solutions, whether it is land transport, sea transport, or air transport. One example on the sea transportation, so we have a One Sea program, which is targeted at autonomous marine vehicles. So that is a kind of work that is already being done in Finland. And now coming on to the next stronghold, which is the healthcare sector, which I touched upon earlier also. So the global pharma and healthcare industry has discovered the uniqueness in Finnish research, and that's why we have all of leading pharma companies invest into Finland and have their R&D base into Finland. And what makes Finland unique for pharma companies on the healthcare side is that its isolated gene pool coupled with Biobanks Act. And in addition to this, Finland also have a very strong network of health test beds that provide unique opportunity for global companies to test their technologies and equipments in Finland. And a few examples are there on this particular slide that you can go through. And what has helped Finland create these strongholds is its ability to create unique ecosystems to find solutions for different industries and sub sectors. And that's what you can see over here. So these are the programs or ecosystem development programs where we deploy ecosystem approach and digitalization to create new unique solutions for the future. And these ecosystems are a unique blend of large, small startup companies along with universities and research institutions. And we welcome international participation in these ecosystems. Now let's talk about something on the startup side as well. So Finland is the startup capital of Europe. Finland has been ranked as number one in digital startup per capita, and Finland is also home to Slush, which is number one startup event in Europe and second largest startup event globally. So last year, Slush witnessed 25,000 attendees, out of which 2,000 were global investors, including investors from Silicon Valley and even from India, and 3,500 global startups also participated in that. Now, for startups or people who are interested in setting up startups, Finland provides a unique opportunity. We have something called Finnish Startup Permit program. Under this program, it makes it possible for international growth entrepreneurs to build a startup company in Finland. And this permit is meant for innovative startup founders coming from countries outside of European Union. The permit is generally initially for 2 years, but then it can be renewed. And the application is scrutinized by experts based in Business Finland, based on what exactly these companies or these entrepreneurs are trying to do. And what else makes Finland a very good destination for startups is that if you look at this slide, so Finland has also obtained the highest per capita venture capital in Europe, since 2016 it has been doing so, and the share of foreign venture capital has been increasing on year and year basis, and ICT as a sector account for close to 50% of these VC investments. So for startups, definitely we are one of the hottest place to be. Now, a few names on this particular slide that you would be aware of, and they have their origin in Finland, like Angry Birds, Clash of Clans, Nokia, Linux, Polar, to name a few. And Finland is also home to many international companies. These include Indian companies like Motherson Group, Infosys, Mahindra Group, and Trivitron, and a few other Asian companies like LG, Fujitsu, Denso. And if you look at the presence of the European companies, then we have the likes of ABB, Ericsson, AstraZeneca, SAP, BASF. And then coming on to America's American companies like Google, IBM, and GE Healthcare are also present and doing their research and development activities and accessing our pioneer position on the ICT and digitalization front. So with this, I would like to welcome you to take the fast track to business opportunities in Finland through Invest in Finland's free services, wherein we help companies with the data collection and analysis, then opportunity analysis, guidance on entry, alternatives, networking, local management, and setting up of a business. So we provide a hand-holding kind of services, and we are a facilitation organization who help the prospective investors to understand what are the various options available with them, how they can go about setting up their business in Finland. So that's what we do it for international investment, and that's that too without any service fee. And with this, I would like to thank International Trade Center for their support on this webinar. And you can connect with International Trade Council to understand more about their services and benefit that you can avail through their membership. And with this, I would like to thank you all to be part of this particular webinar and hear me patiently. And you can and now we can take questions, and you can connect with me on my email, which is provided here on the slide. It's puneet.thakur@businessfinland.fi.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Puneet. So before we go on the question and answer, I will start a poll right now. I do, guys, appreciate if you can answer the poll. And now you can go ahead and type in your question to the Q&A tab. We will go ahead and answer as many questions as we want, as we can. Just for example, you weren't able to answer your questions. Anyway, we will be able to see your questions on our platform. We will just send an email to you, and we will someone from Business Finland or from ITC will definitely get back to you. So we will start taking questions right now one by one. Again, we might not be able to answer every questions, but we will definitely get back to you with all the questions via email. So the first email I got earlier is Business Finland providing funding to idea-based startup?
So Business Finland does not provide funding to idea-based startups, but yes, through our startup permit, we provide the entrepreneurs opportunity to set up their business in Finland and nurture their startup idea from Finland. So the startup permit is targeted at providing that opportunity to the entrepreneurs or the co-founders, wherein they have even if they have an idea, they can fill in their application, and if our experts find that idea good enough, they will give a positive thumbs up, or you can say thumbs up for that application, and based on that application, then those entrepreneurs can apply for a residence permit for Finland, and then they can start their startup in Finland. And make use of Finnish ecosystem. And there are some other tools which after they have set up their business in Finland, that they can avail from uh, different agencies that some of them I have already mentioned about.
All right. Next question is, may I ask which sector that Finland wishes Apple to invest and work with? Maybe he's asking the top sectors that you wish someone to invest in Finland.
So the top sector that we wish someone to invest in have already, I think, highlighted. Those are like ICT. Then we have the bio circular economy, clean tech sector. Recently, we have also started the smart manufacturing program. So manufacturing is another area. And if somebody is looking to do some research and development activities, so healthcare is another area that they can look at Finland from that angle.
All right. So I have next question here. How can I set up my business in Finland as a
So
startup? Sorry.
So it's very easy to set up a business in Finland. As I have mentioned that to make up your business operational in Finland, it's quite easy, and you can even do that remotely. There are certain requirements obviously to be met before setting up, and we can provide those relevant information to the concerned person offline. If they can connect with me, I have already shared my email ID.
Okay. And what if the startup is already registered in India? Will India office is head and Finland one is subsidiary?
So it all depends at how would you like to structure your business, whether you want to make the Indian office as a head office and Finland as a subsidiary. We have come across many cases where people are looking at setting up their headquarters in Finland and then making the Indian office as subsidiary. So it all depends on what exactly you would like to do with your business and how would you like to approach your business. So that can be discussed.
And how about cybersecurity company? What is the opportunity of this type of company in Finland?
So as I mentioned that we are at the forefront of cyber security in the Nordic regions. We are the leading country over there, and we have a very good talent availability on the cyber security front. So if somebody is looking at setting up a cyber security company, so we have all the ticks with regard to that. And now we have also started a digital trust program, which is about building for further refining our capabilities in the cybersecurity sector, wherein we are creating this ecosystem where companies, the large, medium, small enterprises can come together and work together to create newer solutions. And since we are the leaders in cybersecurity in Nordic region, that gives an advantage, and then the companies from there can tap into the bigger European market and access even Business Finland's network from their Finnish entity to expand their business in European market.
Thank you. And what is the capital gains tax in Finland? Maybe he's asking about tax.
So it depends on what kind of capital gain it is, and we can provide the comprehensive details on the taxation side. If somebody needs that, they can connect with me. I can provide information on the taxation.
All right. And for forming a startup, apart from the funding from Business Finland, how much money has to invest from own resources?
See, if you talk about the startup permit, there are certain requirement that you have to show at least 30,000 euros that is with you, but that is not the capital requirement. It's that we want to see that you have sufficient amount of money to run your operations in Finland for next couple of years. So that is the requirement. And in terms of capital, there is no as such fixed requirement that you have to have this much capital to set up a business in Finland.
And how's Finland coping with COVID-19?
Pardon? Can you repeat the question?
How's Finland coping with COVID-19?
See, COVID-19 has been hitting every economy, whether it's India or Finland. If we compare it with Finland, India, so we did quite well. So our economy was, I think the GDP hit was around 6%, whereas in India it was close to 25%. But Business Finland, as Yuka alluded to earlier, has been providing a lot of support, and the government has provided a lot of support to companies in terms of crisis funding, and we got additional $1.1 billion that we have provided to the companies to tide through this particular phase. But definitely there has been impact on all the countries, including Finland, because of this COVID-19. But we have seen that now companies are looking at expanding their exports and have been doing successfully also.
Yes, I don't know if this has been answered during the presentation, but there's a lot of question about would startups be eligible for grants and loans?
So once you are in Finland, you have a Finnish entity, you are eligible for all the programs that we have at Business Finland, because we don't differentiate between the foreign owned or domestic companies. Once you have a Finnish entity, you are eligible for all the incentives or the you can say fundings that we have. The only criteria is that you have to fulfill the basic terms and conditions, and then it is evaluated by our experts. And if they believe, yes, this particular company or the startup has good enough idea, I think there shouldn't be any problem of raising the funding from Business Finland or other sources in Finland.
And what are the benefits for a new startup in agriculture industry? Yes, there's also several questions about agri industry. Is there an opportunity for agricultural industry in Finland?
See, we don't have any special or specific incentives for startups or which are focusing on agriculture industry. As I mentioned in my presentation, we are a very vibrant kind of country, and you have seen already that what is the kind of traction we are seeing on the startup side. So startup ecosystem is very well developed in Finland, and we have the events like Slush, where the companies can tap into raising their financing. But with regard to agriculture, it also comes down to the fact that it's a very wide area. So what exactly in agriculture they companies looking to do, whether they are looking at farming, or whether they are looking at developing some solutions for farming or farmers or related fields. So it all depends on what exactly you are looking to do within that particular sector.
Oh,
So based on that only we can provide answer whether there is an opportunity in Finland for that company or not.
all right. Is there an opportunity for biodiesel pump setting up and supply sector in Finland?
So Finland is one of the pioneers in the bio circular economy. So on the biofuels also, we are one of the leading countries. We have a lot of uh, investors already who have set up the biofuel plants in Finland, and because of the availability of raw materials and our apt legislation towards that. So if somebody is looking at setting up biofuel kind of project in Finland, we are more than happy, and they are more than welcome to Finland and look at those opportunities, and we can provide them relevant information and help them understand what exactly exists in Finland and what are the relevant pathways for such company to set up their business in Finland.
Thank you. And can the startup permit converted to a resident permit?
So that startup permit actually is a pathway to residence permit only. So it provides you a residence permit to for initially 2 years to for you to be in Finland and do your activities in Finland, and nurture your startup using the ecosystem that we have in place. and we have seen that there is a fair traction from India, and there has been consistently the number of application from Indian founders has been increasing. The only requirement that is associated with startup permit is that an individual cannot apply for that. It has to be at least two co-founders putting in the application together. So you have to have at least two people behind the startup.
Thank you. Is there an opportunity for edutech startup?
So Finland is a very advanced society in terms of education. So if you look at Finland is has been ranked as one of the best on the education, and even India is now trying to replicate the success of a Finnish education system, and we many times get inquiries from Indian, even the government, that how they can improve the education system here in India. But on the ed tech side, yes, there are opportunities. We have a few successful ed tech companies already from Finland. But if you say that you are looking at Finland as a market for ed tech, so I would say we are a very small population of around 5.5 million. So if you are looking at Europe as a market from Finland, then definitely, because we have the right kind of talent that exists in Finland, and our teaching pedagogies are one of the best in worlds that you can integrate into your edtech platforms.
Thank you. And how's the weather in Finland?
So, in terms of weather, so Finland is obviously very close to North Pole. Half or maybe 40%. Yukka can correct me if I am wrong. Finland is above the Arctic Circle, so definitely it's quite cold over there. But the summers are very bright and very beautiful, and so from an Indian perspective, yes, it is quite cold over there.
And what are the taxation structure and benefits for service sector P2P business startup?
Can you repeat the question? I didn't get the first part.
Sorry, what are the taxation structure and benefits for service sector
So,
business startup?
so I shared in my slides that the corporate tax is at 20%. So that is for any sectors. There is no specific uh, differences for any sector. So the taxation is at 20%, whether it's a services sector company or whether it's a manufacturing company or company in any other sector.
All right. Do you have any portal or provision in Finland that can help manufacturers connect with vendors?
I think for that you should. So I would like to understand this question in detail. That what exactly you would like to understand, whether you want to source from Finland. So what exactly? Uh, what's
Well, I believe that he can email you directly
Yes,
or he can
yes,
email us
yeah,
directly, so we can
sure.
that needs a detailed information.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. More information is needed on that.
yep. We are a system integrator in India and good knowledge with solar tracking automation. Do we have an opportunities in Finland with this type of sector?
So, did you mention solar tracking?
System integrator
Mm-hmm.
with solar tracking automation.
Okay, I think there is always an opportunity for innovative companies in Finland, and as I mentioned, we are pioneers in the ICT, but we still believe that there is still scope for having more and more innovative companies in Finland. And if you are already a system integrator who are doing something in automation, and that is one area where we are building our expertise in. So we are looking at smart manufacturing program, which will obviously will be about automation and IoT and those kind of technologies. But we'll appreciate if you can connect with me directly, so that we can understand what your requirements in detail, and what exactly you are looking forward to doing. so that we can provide you more informed kind of answers and uh, uh, better information to help you understand more about Finland.
All right, thank you. And how is the business opportunity in the fields of design, engineering, and consultancy services in power generation?
So in terms of power generation and consultancy services, so Finland, main avenues of power generation are wind energy and hydro, and we also are an integrated grid with our neighbors, that is Norway and Sweden. So we share our infrastructure. But I'll have to maybe drill down a little bit more to understand your requirements and then provide you right kind of information. So I'll appreciate if you could connect with me.
Thank you. Um, what is the cost of startup permit and how much is needed for processing the permit? Is there a process online or paper based?
So the process is online. Anyone can go to Business Finland website, and you can go to the tab which talks about starter permit. You will get all the information over there, uh, and uh, and the cost associated with the startup permit are minimal. The only costs that the main which are associated are with regard to your application with the immigration department, which is MIGRI. So once you have got a positive outcome from the Business Finland startup permit team, then you have to go through that particular process, and the costs I think over there are close to around between 350 to 450 euros per applicant.
Thank you. Any incentives or barrier for doing business in EU or other parts of globe for service business?
So doing business in other parts of the world from Finland. So that's what I understand from this question.
Yep.
So we don't provide incentives per se, but yes, you can always leverage Business Finland's network if you are trying to export your services or products from your Finnish entity. So from there, you can always take help and support of Business Finland.
All right. So as much as we can answer all the questions, there's other overwhelming questions right now, but some of the questions are just actually the same. Anyway, if we fail to answer the question, I apologize for that. But I have here our email address. Please send an email to us directly. Anyway, we have a copy of your questions on our platform. We will definitely answer the question in the next 24 to 48 hours. I think we can stop from here. Again, please expect an email from us with the answer with your questions. Anyway, you can also reach us through that email address. I would like you guys to say thank you for overwhelming response to this webinar. I hope that you guys are interested to invest in Finland. Anything else, Tapor? Any last statement from you?
Yeah, Ron, I thank you and thanks everyone for participating in this Invest in Finland webinar. We are there to help you, support you, understand more about the Finnish market. So even if you are not looking at investing into Finland, or and you believe that there is an opportunity wherein you would like to source from Finland, something from Finland, even then you can connect with us and we can provide you with the right kind of information and connect with the right kind of vendors from Finland. So that's my last comments. But Jukka, if you have any last comments before we close this webinar.
No, thank you so much for wonderful presentation, Puneet, and thank you so much for organizing this webinar, ITC, and excellent questions. Thank you so much. Excellent questions, and there's Puneet's email address, so I'm sure that Puneet, you will be flooded with good additional questions and comments. And it's our role to help you guys to do business in Finland, to invest in Finland. So we are here for you guys. But thanks, Puneet. Thanks, organizers.
Yeah,
Thanks for good questions.
yeah, thanks, Yuka. And then I believe, Ron, this presentation will be shared with everyone.
Yep, this presentation will be shared with everyone together with the recording. We will definitely send an email within the next 24 to 48 hours. So, again, thank you so much, everyone, and stay safe. And Puneet, we'll still have another session after in an hour.
Yeah, sure, Ron. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Puneet and Yuka. Bye bye. Stay
Bye.
safe, guys.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.